Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're just hitting this channel for the first time, you're welcome. Now let's learn together. Today we're going to be looking at how to create this dynamic and easy to use and update expenses tracker that we're going to be connecting back to our inventory that we had been creating. So this is going to be highly dynamic. So the inventory we've been creating will be actually happy to see this expenses tracker to track all the expenses that is actually, that we actually incur during the course of our business. So now here's the dashboard we built to actually, track our expenses. We can switch from chart to chart, from month to month. Like now we want to see November expenses. We can see November expenses here. This is just a result of what we have right here. So here is January. So every record you put in right here right now, we're gonna have it analyzed when we get to our dashboard right here. Now if you want to see the January we just left, you can actually go up and choose January. You see what is going on right now in January. Now let's say in January you want to actually compare January to revenue you generated in that month. If you come right here, you can see that in January we spent higher than what we actually earned, which is our expenses exceed our revenue, right? So now you want to see what you spend the money, and you can see the categories of what you spend the money on. And here are the categories. On every category is how much we spend over time from the inception of the month down to the current month you are into. You can see how much you spend on this particular category and others. So right now, not to get bored, so we just need to go to the right sheet and start doing this. So now this is the workbook. So this is what we've gotten right here. So if you've not been following my tutorial from the inception that I started this very inventory management, this is the video number 6. So you can actually track back number 1 video down to this down to number 5 and others as well. So now this is what we get. So I love giving my worksheet or whatever worksheet I like giving them colors to actually stand them out of there. So now this color actually start for like you are entering data, this one start for description, and this one start for drop down, and this one start for your data entry as well, like input. So this is where I get the colors from. Should you want to know how to do that, I actually shown you from the scratch. From you can see calculator, you can see output, and I have any output coming in. This is the input, this is the check and stuff like that. So now if you watch my other tutorials you get it right. So if it's your first time, kindly do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now let's begin. Now the first thing we have to do right now is that now we are actually making use of this January. You want to start recording from here, then give a description and all of that. So we want to select something from here, and when we do our selection it's going to be dynamic. So yeah, we've done this before, but today's always going to be a little bit different because we're going to be adding column by actually selecting and clicking on this. We now click on insert and add new column. We don't want every single time we add new column to have any of our drop down to be spaced out. Don't worry, I'll show you what it is in a jiffy. Now what we need to do for the first time, we just need to go to category table where we're going to have all our categories. So we have 15 categories being specified for this, and I've created a hopper column which I have not shown you how to do in this video. I'm going to show you right now, and if you want to watch more detail about this, you can actually go to my other video and watch it. So now what we're going to do for the first time, I'm going to clear out this. Now first of all, we click on this and we name our table. Click on the design, come to table, we're going to give it a name like TB okay, I love underscore expense cut. Okay, expense cut like this. So now I'm gonna like clear this one out and start afresh. So we want to check if there is any duplicate in what we're doing. So if there's any duplicate, we want to actually deal away with it, and we want the function of this very helper column is that it helps us to count duplicates, and if there is any duplicate, we want to filter the duplicate off it. So when we actually select it for the drop down, the duplicate won't show. That is number 1 function of this very helper column. That the second function of the helper column is to deal away with empty space, like like blank space. Now maybe you want to add category, just add these few categories, but we specify 15 categories, so here are empty. It's not going to show you the empty ones, so it's going to show you the one we have data in. So for you to get understanding, let us do this. Now using the helper, doing the helper column, we're going to start with count if. So count A of is gonna like, okay, between K, then we'll lock it down, and with the number we are into is number 6, so it's K6. You can see it right here. So K6 to K6 to K, yeah, to K6. So when I hit comma, yeah, we have just given the range, so the criteria now is going to be the same K6. So that's the criteria. So we hit close. So now that we hit close, we're gonna copy it and like copy this. So if you want to see the result it pulled out, it's gonna be this. So it's giving you 1. So what you're actually seeing is that it's counting what we have right here, how many times they really appeared. So this appeared once. So if you have this one duplicated, you're gonna see that it appears twice and stuff like that. But that is not what we want. So what we actually want is this. Let us see. We want to actually see if any of it appeared once, what will happen. So we're gonna use if condition right here. So using if condition, we're gonna say if it is not 1, we want you to give us 0. Else you just give us back what we gave to you. So here is what I still get. So now it's giving me 1 because it's true. We don't have any duplicate existing inside it. So now to get it right, I just want to use this very other function called sum. Sum will help us to do something. It's going to help us count how many we actually have in this particular row. So now using this L5, so using L5, we hit enter. Here is where we got what we get right now. So now let's see if we have a duplicate. So what's going to happen? So we're going to say trans. So when I hit enter, the duplicate we have is going with this. So we're going to have 2 14s. Now the very big job this is doing is that when we get to the drop down, creating the drop down, it's going to filter out one of the duplicates. We're not going to see it there. Sometimes we need to have 2 duplicates of more of that, like when we created or dynamic price and stuff like that. So we have that right there. So now we've done this, and the name of this table we still remember is expense or whatever cat. So now we can go back to our our expenses tracker right here. And now if we had to create our formula right here, it's gonna be troublesome, so we don't want to do that. So we want to add like, this is 15, okay, we want to add like 20 columns. So I'm gonna click on this, I'm gonna say insert. So we're gonna create our formula above this, and I'm gonna hide it after all. So the first thing we have to do now is going to get a mask. Get the max number. So we're using this max, so I'm gonna say max. So now the table we just named is gonna be this table. So the helper column is what we need right now, so we're gonna use the helper column. So when I close and I hit it, it gives me 15. That is all we need. So it gives me 15. So now I love to make it some kind of standard, so that when we come back we will see it very neat and all of that. So now it gives me 15. So the next thing we have to do right now is to extract all the data. So now to extract all the data, this is what we do. So to extract all the data, we're going to be needing this function called index. So index is going to help us to like get it out. So it's looking for the array of the table, and the array of the table is going to be the name of the table. So we're going to say tb. So we put it out. So now what we need from there, sorry, tb. So now when I hit this, it's going to ask what do I need. Is it a helper column or other column? So what I need is, I need the category. So I need the header. How did I name it? I need expenses category. That is what I need. So I need expenses category, which is that. So now I'm going to actually be giving it a row number. The row number is going to be match. So I'm going to be using these rows to pull it out. So now what I need right now, the rows I need is I'm gonna say A, hit this, and it's gonna be F6, X6 to A6. So now when I close, I'm gonna say comma, the lookup is gonna be the table is gonna be the lookup, table this. So now I'm gonna hit like, okay, I want the whole column to count to help me pull it out. So we use that. So when I close and hit enter, I think this is what it is. But before then, what we need to do is, like, after this we're gonna put comma and get the exact match from there. So when I hit comma, it's asking me for match. I'm gonna use the exact match. Then I hit enter. This is where I have. So right now I'm gonna drag it down until we have it all. So I think we are having 14. So I need to add like more column. Insert. So let me show you something. So when I drag down, so now we have more than 14. So if I could just go this way, what it counts is actually 17. So this is not part of it. So what we have is actually the 15, which is this is the 15 we have right there. So you're gonna see the reason why we have this right now. So I want to turn something off right here. So I want to show you this a very one, but it's not important, but sometimes important, depends on what you're using this for. So now I will come to this and click from here, sorry, from this row here to the close of the bracket. So I'm gonna copy it. So when I come back right here, I'm like, if this is greater than this number right here, so I want you to give me nothing. If it is not greater, just give me this. So when I have it closed right here, so what I need to do right now, I need to lock it down, else to actually leave that and throw out some error. So I need to lock this down and come back here and lock this down as well. So when I hit enter, so what I'm going to do now is for me to actually click on this and actually double click and have it, so it cleared out the errors we have right here. That should say empty. So right now this is what we have. For the next thing we're going to be creating right now, we're going to be creating this called okay, we can actually put it right here. I'm going to be creating a dynamic link we're going to use to actually create a drop down. So what we're going to be using now is going to be count the numbers of item, count the numbers of items. Okay, fine. Now I want to count this. So what we need to count now let me just show you something. Before we do the countings, I'm gonna go to this category table and actually wipe away this couple of, yeah, we're gonna wipe this out so we don't have it any longer. So wipe this out. So this is what we have. So now if I go back to my expenses, I go back to expenses tracker. So but what I'm seeing now is not more, you can see it starts actually, it's not more up to 15. So right now we only have 12, but we want to count this. We have some formulas going on right here. So when we use the word count, so we're gonna say equal to count if. So the count if is gonna be taking the range from here down to this. So now you're gonna say, okay, now you're counting. I want you to help me count how many words we have right here, how many items we have right on this. So we're gonna be using this question mark and asterisk. So before then, so we need to use this quotation mark, the question mark, asterisk, and the quotation mark back again. Then we'll close it. So it's gonna help us to count all of what we have right here. About the errors, like those empty one are actually included, is away, is not there. So right now you want to see the reason why I have this. Just watch me. I'm gonna copy this to create a link. So the link is gonna be, I'm gonna say drop down link, drop down link. So now the link is gonna be this using offset. So offset function, offset is asking for reference. This is the reference. So the reference is that when we hit comma the row, we put comma the column. No, don't want to go. So now the height is gonna be this very, this is the height we need. So every single time we have something coming into here, we have it add into our drop down as well. You can see how unique it is. You might be thinking like, why don't we use normal drop down? Don't worry, I'll show you the side effect of that one in a jiffy. So right now we've just gotten this right. So I'm gonna close it. But before we go, what we need to do right now is for we to actually have it close, have it locked down. I'm gonna lock this. I'll copy. So now, sorry, my key is not working. We would have using the shortcut F4. So I'm gonna lock every part of it right here. Else it will just, be subtracting some part of it. So you might try it out and see what is gonna be the problem. So now that we've done this, I'm gonna hit enter. So if I hit enter, this is what I have. So now what I'm gonna need is this. I'm gonna need this one. I copy it. That is all I need, right? So now I go down and I create my drop down. So we come to this drop down and come here, then go to what value and go to the list and paste this right here. So when I paste and I leave, so I have my drop down, I have everything right here. You can see the white space is not here. Now let us try to differentiate this very kind of drop down to our other drop down. Now if I click on here and I want to use the same drop down, I come to this very data validation. I go through lists and now I try to locate where we have our category. Let us go to category right now. Okay, now here's the category table. So now if I now select this down to here and hit enter, so I release this, so you can see the two differences right now. We have this white space, so this is what we are trying to actually avoid, the white space. And as well, we don't want, if there is any duplicate, we don't want a duplicate to come over right here. So we can still go and try it out and actually include duplicates right there to see the functionality of what we've just created. We can actually duplicate this to this level. Now we have like 3 of it right now. So if I just make sure this is actually down right here, so now you can see we have almost 3 duplicates. So if we go back to our expenses tracker right now, like coming here, we go to expenses tracker. So if I come, I see the 3 duplicates and I see a white space like this, and I come right here, what I see is something different. So I'll let's see one, no white space, no duplicate. Can you see that? No white space, no duplicate. Can you see it? And the difference between the two types of drop down is that we have duplicate and we have a white space. That is what we're trying to actually deal well with. So I don't want this, like I can actually go back here and click on any value and hit enter. I get it. So right now what we've done right here is what we're going to be doing again. I'm going to be pasting the same thing right here. So come to here, then go to list, do the same thing and all that. So I'm going to be doing it all through and all that. So now that I've created this very part of it, so it's actually going to be fun to actually create more of it and actually do that. So now we can actually quickly do and actually paste it and test it out. So list. So I'm going to be doing the rest behind the scenes. So let us quickly enter data and see how funny how fun it is. So now what we need to do is to actually highlight the whole thing down to here and actually hide it away from the end user. So you're gonna be hide. Please don't go and delete, else there'll be problem. So you're gonna click on hide. So now it's not more visible. Can you see that? That is the back end. We need to be there. So now what we need to do right now is to enter our data. This is going to be January 1st, 2020. Now you're going to be given the description on what you spend you spend the money on right here. So description can go over and over again. So you can choose the category of what you're spending the money on. So if it's going to be on charity, and it's going to be how much dollars. It's going to be like, okay, just say $100 on charity, and maybe some other day you actually spend something on something different, like okay, on this okay, right, yeah. And second, of this 2020. So you spend money buying fuel, buying fuel. So buying fuel for office car, buying fuel for office car. So now you can actually come here and look if there is any match category. So wow, we have it. We have a match category. You see, buying fuel for office car, we have a match category. We spend $50 for it. We spend $50. So when I hit enter, here is what we do. So now if we have actually exceed this buying share of, let's say now I can actually come and duplicate this down to here. So right now I just want to show you something. Now we've actually done with this. With this can be something like 100. I'm gonna copy this down. I don't want negative. So now what we need to do now, we are here, you'll be thinking like, how can I enter more? The mod is still, it's not even yet at its fag end. So what am I gonna do? What you need to do right now is just to hold on this arrow right here, hold it down and highlight everything. But when doing it, be very careful. Do not do it right here. Do it outside it. Just add more column as much as you really want. Then you click on it, you release it and come back and click on it right here and hit on insert. You add more and you can start adding more of your data, right? So right now I think this very part is very fun. So I don't want to actually waste much of our time on one single tutorial. I hit a pick tutorial. So in the next tutorial we're going to be creating something more fun. So now that we've done this, I'm going to be adding data to it, and after I add data we're going to come back in the video number 7 to actually create a dashboard like this and feed it and actually match it to the inventory we actually built. If you've not seen the inventory we've built in the previous video, you have to actually go and watch the previous videos where we have our inventory being built, which is this inventory being built. We are using the same drop down we just created. This is what we're using. So the reason why we have this is that we actually have a price table where our price changes every single time our price changes. We need to actually duplicate our product and actually give it a new price right here. So if this price changes, we can actually duplicate it and actually give it another price right here using the effective date, so that the previous price we've actually given to our customers and the record we've kept will not be affected. So we actually use that as well. So we are collecting this the product data from here. So we have so many duplicates of the same product right here. So when we get to the other sheet, we're not going to have anything as well. So we've actually done something about this. So if you've not watched it, you have to check it out. So kindly subscribe and actually share this very video if it is helpful to you. And if there is any part you don't understand, please leave a comment. Let me know what it is. I always appreciate it. And I want you to keep working with me, keep actually doing this with me over and over again, because we still have some other videos to actually come. We have to build our dashboard and stuff like that. So we have to actually go and do so many things. So this is the inventory table. If you don't know how we actually get into this, you can actually watch that tutorial as well and get yourself filled up with this Excel skill and all of that. So thank you very much for watching. Kindly subscribe to my channel. Goodbye and stay safe.